Welcome back, tech heads. So you're probably here because you missed WWDC, which I totally get because normally I am working too, but luckily I was off today so I could watch the entire thing. But it's okay because I'm gonna do my best to fill you in with all the most important announcements and some of the flops too. And I'm gonna try to tell you everything in under 7 minutes. And if this video is terrible and I just didn't do a good job, I'll go and pin a dislike button in the comments, which you can all go ahead and just click on that and tell everyone that I suck. It's fine. So hopefully I do a good job here. iOS 16 comes bearing many gifts, but not all are super exciting. For me, the lock screen was probably the coolest one. So now we'll get to customize our lock screen with custom fonts, colors, widgets, and even live updates such as sports scores. Notifications will also be at the bottom from now on to keep our lock screen nice and clear and clean. And so you're not very design savvy, Apple will also give us access to tons of templates we can choose as inspiration. However, I think the updates to messages is where it gets even better. If you messed up a text or send your crush an I love you and change your mind, which can happen, you can finally edit the text and even unsend the text completely. Finally. But these next few features are kind of meh, mostly because of past disappointments Apple's promised us. SharePlay, while amazing, we've heard of before. If it does come to iOS 16, not only will it work for FaceTime, but even in the messaging app as well. But it gets more disappointing from here. There's now improved dictation, which is fine, but I don't know anybody who uses it. And LiveText has improved to translate from a different language, but Google Lens already does that. However, being able to copy text from a video, that's pretty cool. And I will say the next feature I really did appreciate. With Apple Wallet, we'll now have contactless payment from iPhone to iPhone, which for someone like me who's played music on the streets for money, this might be pretty beneficial. But it also gets better from here. Apple Pay will allow us to purchase and pay off something over time with no interest. And this is all done through Apple's end. And that's pretty cool if you're budget minded like me and you just can't afford to pay something off right away. Can also be dangerous if you're spending too much money, but it's helpful. However, this next feature I'd probably call a flop. We've now got new and improved Apple Maps. Big whoop. I'm probably still gonna keep using Google Maps from now on like everybody else. Like nothing they mentioned in Apple Maps seemed like a worth to mention at all. But it did get worse. They felt the need to improve Apple News, which no one uses, and improved HomeKit, which again, nobody uses. Honestly, it just feels like they're trying to push the stuff that nobody wants. Like nobody wants Apple News, nobody cares about HomeKit, but they keep trying to make it better, hoping that we want it, but I don't see it happening. However, this next thing I did want. CarPlay is getting a sweet update. However, one thing they're adding is kind of questionable. The most amazing thing is the integration with the instrument panel on the dash, which I'm assuming from what I've watched is this just going to be a quick update to do all that. But custom widgets, layouts, colors, and designs are going to be so awesome. However, the fact that you can change temperature and adjust the AC from CarPlay is cool, but I have knobs and buttons for all of that, so why make the job harder of going through CarPlay? However, the next update gets even more underwhelming. The Apple Watch got some new updates, but mostly just seems to be some new faces, really. However, there are some better health features integrated for athletes, but I'm no athlete. However, now being able to track and schedule reminders for medications, that's pretty nice, which honestly might be helpful for me to remember my anxiety medication, which some days I do forget, and then I wonder if I took it or not, and then I'm too anxious to take it because I don't want to take too much, and then this could be helpful. However, this next feature is a big plus. ×2, a new and improved MacBook Air, which personally, I really like the design of. It actually looks a lot like the new MacBook Pros that just came out, like the same body style and everything. But it does get better from here. Apple introduced their brand new M2 chip in the MacBook Air. Okay, so I won't go and bore you with the details or the specs about this thing, but all you need to know is that the M1 chip that's currently in the current generation of MacBooks, ridiculously powerful, like so good. Like I have a gaming PC right here that's spec'd out to the top, and I used a MacBook M1 chip and blew this thing out of the water. This thing struggles, that didn't struggle once when it came to video editing. So I can guarantee you this M2 chip will be mental. Also, it has an iPhone jack. Thank you. But there are some downfalls to this new MacBook Air. They focused a lot on the new webcam, which if you know me, I don't care about cameras in smartphones or laptops because, I don't know, I just think the hype's ridiculous around them. I don't know. However, if I were to be picky, this webcam still looks like trash. But you can also use your iPhone camera as your webcam. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so here's where I started giggling a lot. Apple tried, once again, to push the idea of gaming on a MacBook, and that's never going to be normalized. Nobody wants that. However, they are bringing Resident Evil to MacBook. So I guess a step in the right direction. Okay, so I'm definitely running out of time here, so I'm going to try to speed up this a bit more. Here's another underwhelming update. macOS Ventura, I can't remember what it's called. macOS, whatever it's called, was announced with some okay features. Stage Manager is a new feature that allows you to have multiple windows open, but tucked to the side when you're not using them. Which is fine, but it looked to me like you couldn't have a full screen on the main screen you're using, so I don't see how that's super helpful. However, this next one is a really great feature. With Mail, we can now quickly unsend an email that was just sent. Now, I'm a terrible proofreader. I misspell a lot, so thank you. But it also gets even better. Apple introduced passkeys, which by using biometrics like Touch ID and Face ID will generate passwords for you that you don't need to remember and can't be leaked or shared with anybody. So it's pretty much a passwordless future they're heading towards, which for me is pretty good because recently I got my social medias hacked and that was a pain in the butt to fix. But instead, the future will now be just passwords through our fingerprints and Face ID. So no remembering, as long as you have your finger, which I hope you have, you can get passwords. However, you might also be wondering why your iPhone battery is super unhealthy and super terrible. So how about you let me help you fix that in this video right here.